Out here with the birds this morning. This is a 40-foot gooseneck, and we are building the biggest honkin' tiny house I have ever seen. Alright, so got some of the foundation joists across here attached. I'm just going to go over a little bit of what I'm doing. So, as you can see, the edge of the trailer right here. It's 102 inches from each of the side strap bars to each bar. What I'm going to be doing is underneath, I'm going to be welding on right there onto this 1/4 inch or whatever that is. It might be a little bit more than 1/4 inch iron, but I'm going to be welding on a 3x3 bracket onto here. Yeah, so that is the plan. So it'll come out to about right here, well, actually about right there, and then it'll have 1.5 or 2 inch overhang. Yeah, so that's the plan on every joist all the way down. So that's 62 pieces of angle iron that I'm going to be sticking on there. So anyways, yeah, so it'll have a 2 inch overhang past the angle iron. So the wall itself is going to be 3.5 inches, or a standard 2x4 on there. So it'll be overhanging by 3.5 to so 1.5 inches. It'll be on the angle iron, putting the weight down. But yeah, so anyways, I've already cut all of these to 108 7/8 and got them laid on there. And then I'm just pre-drilling, well, not really pre-drilling, I'm just sticking all my screws in over here on this table before I stick them up. So I've already marked off on all of the 2x4s where my studs go. And yeah, and then I'm just taking all my screws and just putting them down, 2 on each one. So yep, that's what's going down right now. Alright, so you might already be wondering, what in the world, you're hanging over the edge. Probably not a good idea to do that. Rule of thumb, if you're going to cantilever a floor like this, is you do not want to exceed the width of the board as far as your distance from the supported edge. So on a 2x4, 3.5 inches, you would not want to stick your edge over whatever your actual support beam is by 3.5 inches, no more. I'm even scared to put it 3.5 inches over the edge. I would still think that'd be too much weight bearing down on it, and it would eventually bow. And I'm going to be welding on a 3x3 angle iron piece to each joist, underneath each joist. My camera seems to be having some difficulties. So it's not going to be sticking over, but 2 inches overhang on each side. So like I said, max you can do is 3.5 inches. I feel safe with doing 2 inches because I'm not just putting down a 2x4 foundation and building on top of it. I am putting down 1 1/8 inch Advantech OSB, the super floor. You could probably build your house strictly out of that stuff with no 2x4s and it would stand. The stuff weighs 125, 128 pounds per sheet. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, so standard flooring is 3/4 inch or 23/32. It's about like that. Advantech is like that. I mean, it's a super thick, super strong. I could have probably just put the Advantech flooring directly down on top of the metal going across, and it probably would have been pretty firm. But it's much better to over-engineer than under-engineer, so I'm pretty certain that there won't be any problem with doing a 2x4 foundation like this, having a 2 inch cantilevered overhang, and then putting my 1 1/8 inch Advantech on top of that. It's going to be really amazing. You guys will have to wait and see how it turns out. taking 3" by 3" by 3/16" angle iron, and I'm cutting it up into 62 chunks to put under all of my joists that are going to be sticking over the edge of the trailer. So you see I've got to cut on this side first, and then I'm going to flip it over and match all the cuts on that side. So very labor intensive. Have the metal suppliers a lot of times do the cuts for you, but it's like $1 a cut. So if you have a chop saw, buy a couple of blades because you're going to burn through them. Alright, so I am drilling through 3/16 angle iron. This stuff tried to get you up high enough so you can see the drilling process. So I'm using titanium coated drill bits from DeWalt, just so you know. I think a 21-piece set of them all the way up to 1/2 inch is like $25. I've already drilled through 30 pieces, and I'm not using a pilot hole. But with titanium bits, you want to keep them from getting too hot, because once the coating's gone, it's not going to drill very well. So I've got my little rig here set up. I'm just spraying it, pushing down, rotating pressure on it. When you see the bit start to steam, or you see the metal start to steam that you're drilling into, you know that it's starting to get kind of hot. I'm just using water. I've got a little plastic drop pan lid underneath me. So yeah, just push, spray, push, spray, push, spray. Like I said, I've already drilled through 30 of these, and the bit is still going strong. The cobalt and the black oxide could handle higher heat than the titanium, but if you're using a drill press especially, you don't need to worry about high speed so much as just keeping the bit cool. Any kind of friction, no matter how fast you're going, is going to eat away at the coating. But all the bits, they all benefit from using some sort of lubricant. Water's the easiest. It causes rust, but there's no mess, and I can just fill up my little spray bottle like this. Have a little automatic feeding system going. So if you've got the lubricants, great. I find this to be pretty quick and cheap. So yeah. Ugh. All those down there have already been drilled. Just drying out. You can get one of these things at any kind of home improvement store. Probably at Walmart too. Out here with the birds this morning, and welding onto the side of the trailer the supports so that I can go over the edge. So you can see my 3x3 by 3/16" angle iron. I have never welded before in my life. I'm actually MIG welding right now. As my my lovely welds can show you. I haven't removed the slag, but they're still pretty rough. So anyways, getting the hang of welding, MIG welding is way easier than stick welding. At least that's what they say. I might try some stick welding as well. But anyways, so I'm just going around just grinding off the paint with my handy dandy grinder. And then I am coming back and basically putting these on the bottom here where I've gotten rid of the paint and just centering them. And then I am holding them in place with a little metal clamp and then soldering on one side or welding, sorry, on one side. And then I just keep on doing that all the way down. Once I finish getting them all aligned, then I lift up the deck so I can weld on the top and on the bottom, or on the side. So just welding all the way around. And you can see back here, I've already done it on these. So yeah, so I'll be doing that on both sides. So you can see they're all set up and ready to go. So here's the trailer with all the brackets welded on all the way down, and it's all been bolted up. I haven't cleaned off any of the slag or anything, not until I paint. Come on, camera, there we go. And then I have one of these coated lag screws. They're not galvanized, and they're not lag screws either. They're zip screws or something like that. Anyways, they're about 3 5/8 inches long, so they go fully up into the 2x4. But yeah, so anyways, the deck is adhered down on all sides. And then down here at the end, I've still got my clamp. Down here on the end, I had to weld on this little 2.5 inch square angle iron to extend it out so that I could support this corner better. That's just a little spacer piece there. So yeah, so the corner is completely supported on both sides. But yeah, so now what I have to do is I have to go now and make sure that all of my joists are all 16 inches on center all the way down. I mean, I've obviously done that on the outside, but now I need to go into the middle and screw them into all the 2x4 runners and make sure that they stay 16 inches on center, so when I'm putting down my subfloor, there's no misplacement of the joints. So yeah, lots of screws. And I am doing this all with screws since I'm going into ACQ lumber or treated lumber. I figured I might as well use deck screws, but also I wanted more pulling power than even ring shank nails would give. So it takes a little bit longer, but if I make a mistake, it's easy. I just unscrew it, chop a little bit off, replace it, whatever. It's been much better to use screws in this.